Hey everybody, it is I, Nathan Bonner, the creator and solo animator of Indavo 3.0, and also the interior artist for the Big Money Monster comic, the true life tales of Murfreesboro, Illinois' very own cryptid. And I always like to mention the monster, and here we are on a post-Halloween stream. I thought about maybe doing this last night because this will go into the to the realm of body snatching, and I may be discussing some of the other types of body snatching and their effectiveness in the genre. But for now, okay. So what we have here is we have a dragon, and this is just something Moho gives us to toy around with one of our samples type things. I don't worry about that at the moment. Okay, so we're gonna do a new file, and we're gonna get a few other things ready behind the scenes. All right. Okay, so we are going to save this right now. So, okay, we are already in the right spot. So this one's a complicated name. It's Shot IL. It's an IL series. No. I'm joking. Old time Battlestar Galactica fans. Sorry, there are no IL series. Cylons in Indavo this time around. But I will put glittery-headed robots in hide-collared, sparkly evening gowns with decidedly terse attitudes. Next time in Indavo 4.0, I swear. All right. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's put some background on here just for reference as we do some animation here. So I'm going to go to image, and we've got a background right here. Rendered out of Blender, of course. It's a wall of screens, and they don't change, so it's fine. It's just like a monitor station that these two characters are in, and one of them is not what he seems. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. So, what we have here is we have two characters, and what's going to happen is a line will be said to start to glow, and one of the characters is going to turn to dust, and the other character is going to look like the other. This is the body snatching in process. The form has been swapped, and I said this is going to be slightly complicated here, but it can. I believe it totally can be done here. So it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix of the Moho stuff, of course, a mix of the Blender in the background, lots of After Effects stuff to do the glows, and I'll be talking about why I chose that method, and then the victim will turn to dust, and that dust will fall down toward the bottom of the screen, and the uniform will go limp. So that will be some frame by frame animation, probably done at the very end of the process. And there may have to be some slight adjustments on the new characters. You know, they're holding the other character by the arms, and as you will see, this is all very complicated, and I'm not sure it's going to work, but I took a very short tutorial on After Effects on YouTube about the whole dusting process, and I've got that part down, so it's just we got to get there. Okay, so to get there, we're going to put in on the second mark, second 2 mark, there we go, frame 48, we're going to import a line of dialogue. Okay, and we may silence this for a bit. Boop. All right. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then the flashy bit's gonna go. Okay, so there may be a 10. This is, and then there may be a 10B saved off the work here. But let's see how far we get with this before I start fiddling around with all that stuff. Okay. Very good. All right, that didn't come through, which is handy because that would be very loud. Okay, so let's start importing our assets. Okay. So into character folder, we're going to go down to our pre-made characters that we've got here. And there she is. Security Chief. Okay. I'm going to very quickly kind of look at what we've got on the storyboard. And that seems about right. Maybe a bit about half. What about there? Okay. Hold it there. Go to frame 1, and we're going to go ahead and turn her into position. Okay. So far, so good. Let's get those feet kind of together. Put that in here as best we can. Okay, let's go to the head. Head a little bit back. We're going to kind of maybe put the arms forward a bit. Probably take it back like this. Maybe she's trying to react in shock. If we'll have any struggling going on. We don't want to get too graphic. I mean, this is slight body horror. We're not going into anything too Lovecraftian or anything too Wars of the Worlds-ish. The 1980s television series. Season 1, a fine schlock horror series, but also did not really make much sense. So, as far as the undetectable aliens will go. So this sounds like this is a good time to possibly bring up some various... One second, I've got to mute some notifications here. All right. Some body snatching things. Okay, so of course the John Carpenter's The Thing is one of the high bars right off of a Campbell short story from the 1930s. What the Thing does, it masquerades as a human or dog or whatever, and it gets close enough to its victim and then becomes all monstrous and basically devours its victim. In the movie, it's almost virally infecting them. And so then you have a mass of 2 victims, and then that splits off a victim and the assailant, and then that splits back after the conversion process, and the assailant returns to its previous form, and then the new one takes the form of the victim with all the memories and behaviors and stuff, and forgets the whole thing happened, I suppose. Not a bad process, but that's much more monstrous. This is much more of an infiltration-y type thing, like the pod people, of course. Pods growing nearby and vines either going into the bodies of the victims who are sleeping nearby or something like that. There would be a mess. The Donald Sutherland movie of the 70s, it kind of showed that pretty good, but it kind of glosses over, if there was a person there, there should be like a pile of dust or something. But sometimes that doesn't happen. They just fade away in the black and white movie. And then of course we get, like I was saying, the War of the Worlds TV series where the Mortaxian aliens, or the Martians from the 1952 movie, with an VFX upgrade, inhabit the human bodies. And they're undetectable, except the fact that that human body now weighs roughly double what it did, because it's got the alien weight along with its regular weight. And the aliens are radioactive, and which, whenever they take over the host, they kill the human body. Human host is dead, and the radiation begins to break down, so those bodies only last 3 or 4 weeks. So they tend to jump bodies, which leaves behind their, when they go from body to body, the body they're leaving turns into a broken mass of human cells fizzing on the ground, all the ID and everything. And they don't seem to hide any of the identification either. So anyone with half a brain could probably track to roughly where the abduction string started, and just compare that map with a map of underground radioactive areas and cave systems, and you found the alien's base. Well, maybe that would have happened later on. And like I said, and the other thing is like when Colonel Ironhorse stabs one of these inhabited aliens, human inhabited aliens, in episode 7 of the first season, it bleeds green. So they have green blood too. So, pretty detectable, and it's messy, and it doesn't last long. So that's not really very effective. Now, in season 2, they kind of all just screwed all that up, and they lost their sense of humor. I think they were trying to solve some of the problems they created, but they ended up just, I don't know. It just didn't seem to go very well. I wonder if did I actually put his hands? I might have to import him from another one. Let's see if I've got the grabby. I do not. All right, so we're not going to use this model at all. No, because I did some changes, but I didn't do it on the main change of the model, so therefore this one is just not going to work. All right, well, that happens sometimes. Anyway, now aliens taking human forms and invading, as in The Invaders, a Quinn Morton production in color from the 1960s. Those aliens are not humanoid, and what they have done is they basically have created human forms that don't actually represent any one human. This is kind of like a human form, and it's made out of cellulose, and they've got to re-energize or else they dissolve, or energies go out of control, and they turn red and fade away, leaving behind a fine powder. Very considerate invaders, yes. That actually is not too that's some pretty effective, because you don't have the whole missing person syndrome going on. Nope, I'm not doing it. Nope, not. Let's see here. Go. Here, we went back to 9. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, nope. Further back. Nope, that's not the right one either. I need to go to 8. My storyboards for reference, but I did not. So I'm fumbling around. It's going to be complicated enough, and here I am. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and take that one right now. I'm not going to import by reference, but we're just going to import it in. Aha, he's got. I'm missing an arm. Yeah, I'll go ahead and deactivate that arm. There we go. Okay, it's no problem. So we got some keyframes on here that we don't need. Quite honestly. Oh, I guess I needed some of those. I suppose we just need number keyframe at 2. I'm gonna put that keyframe to. There we go. Now we just have to scale him into position and change his heads. Yeah. Now, this is going to be somewhat complicated. Oops. Gotta make sure they're kind of about the same height. There we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, now, this is basically what I had as far as the capture bits, except for the hand keyframes. I've got to move those hand keyframes here on both hands. And what we're going to do is we'll do a reference layer, which I've not done. Well, I think maybe I have once. But we'll definitely do a reference layer for the other arm so it will appear behind her. So let's get that ready. Okay. Okay, we're going to move that arm to there. It's not really going to be very, very visible. So let's go ahead and swap heads. Now, when I was in my previous streams, I was actually able to get that head on there, and it could be better. But no. Okay. So first thing we got to do is we got to get this neck to line up more. It was really originally just I think put in for the for the portrait view, and now we're in profile. So we need to adjust a few things here to kind of get that down. Let's kind of get that curve a little bit more under control. Yeah, I think I might use that on here. Okay, now of course we have to change his colors. So we're going to use our shape tool here, and we're at frame 1, but let's go ahead and select here, and we're going to change that over to the skin tone. Get that shadow there, and we're going to get this shadowy area right here with our eyedropper. Apply, and bam, there we go. Hey! Hey-oh. All right, not bad. Okay, so let's go back up to here. Let's get that head just a little bit more. That's not gonna work. Okay, we're just going to have to do it like this. It's just going to have to be. There we go. All right, not bad. Let's make sure that head turn is Is it? No. So yeah. There we go. Yeah, we'll still leave it right now because we don't want to go that way. Go this. Yeah, that was about right anyway. Okay, so evil eyebrows going. Okay, there we go. Haha. Ow. That torso's a little janky, but you know, you could say that that's just how the uniform sets, but we're just going to do a slight modification here. Just, oops. There we go, slight modification here so it doesn't stick out quite as much. And bam, there we go. Okay. One alien grabbing girl. Okay, so there is one more. There's like actually tons of body snatching type things going on. But the only one I think is most relevant is the one that I'm kind of basing this on. Two, really. In Rom the Space Knight, the dire race females would show up and they'd have these barbed tongues that would jut into whatever person's skull was nearby and eat their brains, and the person would dissolve to dust and they'd take the form of the person with all the memories and everything. This is kind of we're going for the dust thing, but what instead of doing like the whole barbed tongue thing, what we're doing is from the Last Starfighter. Now, we're not entirely sure if this is a body swap or just a camouflage ability, but the Zandozan, the interstellar hit beast, toward the end of the movie, well, actually early on in the movie, is disguised as a hitchhiker, and that is the same Mark Alamo who played Gul Dukat in Deep Space Nine. And he gets close to the video game, the Last Starfighter video game, and somehow it deactivates his, his camouflage or whatever, and he turns into a Zandozan. Later in the movie, Zandozan's hiding in the back of a police car, and an officer gets in to pursue a speeder and smells something terrible, and it comes up, and then there's just a tremendous amount of light as the officer and the Zandozan start glowing, and get the exterior shot of the car, looking into the cab. There's this light pouring out, and the police officer shows up later. It's the Zandozan. So I'm kind of going off that. They're both glow, and after the glow stops, she'll turn to dust, and there will be a new her standing where the Maras is. So that's the process in a nutshell, and that's very complicated. So let's get this show on the road. Okay, so burbling quite a bit. The mouth. Let's go ahead and activate our switch here. So we're just going to choose our Maraz audio file, which you cannot hear, I don't think. Whoa, what happened? Why are we down here? Why did we go down? Why did we go down there? Well, all right, let's expand out our keyframes and find out what's going on here. Oh, we still have some keyframes that are down here on this guy. What's going on? I got rid of all those. Oh, okay, let's just get rid of all those. All right. Position, we don't need that either. Remember exactly where he's at. All right, that's much better. Let's just minimize that because we don't need to see all of that at this exact moment. One thing I want to do is I want to bring, well, yeah, maybe we'll make this a little bit more dynamic. Let's just play it out. There we go. Now, see, what we'll have to do is we're going to have to match to her. We're going to match his position. So let's see what his mouse moves. Yes, okay, the mouth is moving. You can't hear this. I hope you can't, because if you do, I'm so sorry. It's probably very loud. I can't hear it, so I'm hoping you can't either. Anyway, it's typical mouse where nothing is impossible type of stuff going on. That nice black manta voice that Isaac Hicks was able to supply. Okay, so we're going to go to frame 1, and we're going to hit the keyframes right here. Okay, now. So what we will probably start, instead of with him, probably start with her. Frame 1, frame that out here, and as she'll try to probably be attempting to get back away. Attempting to back away anyway. Erase that up. Ooh, okay, sometimes you just have to kind of correct. And let's make sure that that does not start bending the other way. Okay, there we go. Okay, and we'll assume struggling a bit against his. Wow. Okay, got in a little bit closer here to get that head turn correct because that nose is not looking right. There we go. Get that kind of straight ahead. But I gotta watch what you're at the timeline. You don't want to make any weird keyframes type things. Make sure that you're right on where you need to be, or else you're going to get keyframes. There'll be a jump in position if you put something here and you were like, so what it do is you get that snap, and you don't want that snap. So it's very important to remember where you're at in the timeline. Check it frequently, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so let's do that again. And let's make sure that it's facing forward. Oh, too far. There we go. Make sure that's good. Okay, that's pretty good. And we'll probably do one more turn back. And then we'll have her freeze there. Okay. Okay, so now let's go to our assailant, the Maraz. Okay. We're going to have to move these hands as though they're attempting to remain attached. Maybe he'll move in for the kill. Aha, ha, ha. I was going to do this on Halloween, but I thought everyone would probably have to taking up Halloween fun. So, okay, that's gonna have to kind of. Let's go to back to here. Oops. We're at the blink, not that. Which one am I at on that? There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, now we just have to kind of match up with what she's doing there. Okay, as it should be. That arm behind basically is going to kind of be mostly hidden, so it's okay that it doesn't quite jive up as it should. It's still going to be there, and behind our character. Once we get this done. All right, there we go. Okay, with that done. What we've got here. All right, well, move ever so slightly, aren't we? She started here, so we need to go back to there and say copy and paste those keyframes on here so we have it. There we go. Much easier, much better. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Okay. Okay, well that's phase one. All right, well let's duplicate our guard. And now let's make this a reference layer. Oh, sorry. I guess we just needed to hit reference layer the first time. Okay, we're going to move that behind her. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn off everything Or, oh, might be able to tell what's missing if I hide everybody else. Okay, there we go. That's good. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, I believe that's right. Okay. So now we need to turn him off, and we need to turn him back on here, and we just kind of reverse the process. We take off the 3 layers of the arm, and that reference layer will do everything that I program the main layer here to do. Theoretically. All right. Now we're going to turn on our layers, and we'll see now, hey, looks like that arm there is behind her, as it should be. There we go. All right, so I think this is phase 1. Okay, I think this is pretty good. The glow will start here at 5, as it were. This is when the movement starts. So we're going to go ahead and call it. Now, what I will need is I need to hide the background, and I'll need to make 1 frame by hitting preview. There we go. That is a frame. Haha. It's out of sight, but trust me, it's there on the other monitor. And I'm going to say that as PNG. And I'm just going to leave it as yes. And that will be our reference frame for the animation part of this. And hit save. Okay. That done, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set the character animation here to go. I think we're gonna do them both at the same time this time. I think we can get away with that. We'll see if we can. Boy. So, set for PNG, image sequence. Let's choose a file folder here. And we haven't made a render folder, so let's make one right now. Renders. How? Clicking folder, clicking OK, and it's going to render those 2 out on the big monitor, which you cannot see. So, as that goes. Oh, Exo Squad also in their 2nd season had a shape changer. He could just change at will, but he tended to do and make his arms go all blob white and smother his victims, I guess, and then just take them over. So, kind of gruesome for a 90s cartoon. Anyway. And who can forget Darkwing Ducks battles with the pod people? Anyway, it was just Invasion of Body Snatchers with Darkwing Duck on Launchpad in the 90s, early 90s. Yep. Okay, so that was pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, this is fine, and we're going to save this now as 10B. Okay. All right. So. So she's not going to really be there. Okay. There's going to be 2 things. There's going to be the uniform, and then there's going to be a shape of her, and that will. So those gloves will probably fall too. Yeah, that can be part of the uniform animation. All right. So. What we're going to do is we're going to go to frame 5. Oh, sorry. And 108. Second 4.5. Sorry. A little imprecise tonight. All right, here we go. And we're going to hit paste. Okay, so we're just going to get rid of everything else that we have here. And we're going to get rid of that audio file because we don't need it on this one. Okay. Background back on just because we can. All right, and here we go. So we're going to move that to there. Bam. That's where they were, and that's where they're going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one because we don't need that one. What we'll do, though, is we're going to take and we're just going to straight up duplicate her. Move that layer above the guard layer. Okay. And what we're going to do is we are going to split this horizontally like so. And we're going to change those badges around. Boop, 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 boop. No, we're not going to have those badges at all. Oh, we're not going to have the middle are we? Well, all right, okay. Some modification is going to have to happen here because he hasn't changed uniforms yet. And that doesn't happen until later. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's go to frame 0. We're going to get rid of some things that we do not need. And this entire line thing is not what we do not need right there. And we don't need those. No, we're going to get rid of the shoulders. They won't need to be there. Okay, it's fine. It will be fine. Probably her. Okay, no. I haven't moved her. That's why this is going on. All right, sorry. Let's go frame 1. All right. Okay, so we're just going to move this kind of roughly to about there. Okay, now let's go. Technically, I suppose we could say that the clothing should be frumpier or something like that, but we are not going to. We're not going to do that. We're not that technically accurate around here, and that's what it shows. Ford once said when filming Star Wars. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that. 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 We're going to do that, and we're going to take that brow down and take that blink down as well. How? Okay, so we don't need the. Oh, hey, one second. No, we don't need the guard anymore, so we're going to get rid of the guard, Maz Raz. Boom. There it is. That is your body snatching in progress. Something has happened here. What is going on here? That is, that's unfortunate is what that is. What the blanky blank is going on down here? Let's see. Oh, I see. Control. Snapped out there. Okay, well, that's fixed. Okay, so we have, since I took that one frame, we don't actually need her either because she's going to be animated out separately. So we're going to go ahead and just hide that. Okay. And we're going to wait on this. Before we do anything else, we're going to wait. And will depend on the dissipation animation and what we do on the clothes because those arms are kind of going to go down. Maybe we're going to go ahead and do that. Need her. I'm going to keep her there though. Tell you what. All right. Okay. Let's just assume. 1 second lead in for the fade to go out, and then maybe it seems to go over. Let me double check on the After Effects here. How many seconds are we talking here? 3. Okay. So we're going to go to frame 4, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of animate. We'll just plan ahead a little bit. Okay? It's okay, right? Yeah. Plan ahead a little bit. That can be moved. Of course, those frames can be moved with her here. There we go. Aha. Yeah, we'll have to do another reference layer just to have one, but it'll have to be rendered out separately. Okay, so now we have another reference layer that we're going to put behind this one, and now we've got to go through her stuff, and I need to hide that other reference layer and get rid of that arm, and that one. Okay, good, and now we get the reference layer. Same thing for everything else. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this back on. Make sure they still work together. Okay, they still work together. That's good. All right. And we're going to hit save. All right. Now we need to render these two out separately. So we're going to hide our reference layer and go to the main layer. And we're going to export this animation. Image sequence. And we're going to choose where we are at here. It's B, but we're going to call it B1 to make things even more complicated. Naturally. Okay, so that's rendering out. That's rendering out. I'm going to go ahead and get the reference layer ready to render out as well. Oh, we've got to turn off the background. Yes, we want to quit the render. Yeah, sorry about that. Got to turn off the background. Silly name. Okay, export. Image sequence. And here we go. Into 10. And there we go. And we're going to do 1. Overwrite existing files. Okay, now this should render about a little bit faster now. Ah, there we go. Much faster, much faster. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Looking good so far. You can't see it, but trust me, it looks good. It looks amazing. Anyway. Okay, let's get that arm. Okay, so now we're going to go to here, and this is B2, of course. Why would it be? Okay, so that has rendered out very quickly because that was just an arm. All right, so there we go. Now, what we need is a form that will disintegrate. Okay, so there will be 2 layers. There's going to be a kind of a grayish layer that will be the outline of her body, and then there will be another layer which will be her uniform, traced from the render that we made early on, the 1-frame render we made early on. Aha! And then that will be animated to kind of go limp and empty-ish. How's that sound? That sounds great. Okay. Let's see if this actually works. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I got this as an animation right now. Let's see here. Maybe instead of doing an animation. No. Yeah, I'll have to do it this way. I'll have to do this animation. Okay. Never mind. Okay, so we've got the paper. We're going to turn the paper off. I'll leave that off right now. But select the paper layer. Okay, we've gone to Clip Paint Studio Pro. I should announce that. And this is going to be, I don't know what to call this. How to make this any less confusing, I don't know. To the viewer, I'm sorry, this is how my brain works. Anyway, in this file folder, is it in that file folder? Ah, there it is. Okay, so we're just going to call this, dissolve. Dissolve. There we go. Let's just do that. So we're going to import an image. Okay, so we're there. Oh, quite a ways ago since I imported an image here. Shot. 6. We are in the IL series shots. Interlude is, if you're wondering what that means, it's interlude. Again, that's how my brain works. All right, so what we need here is we need to go down to here, kind of make that a little bit less indistinct. Okay, so we're gonna do a pencil layer first, and this first layer is just going to be her. So basically just to outline, because there will be no details or coloring or anything like that. It'll just be filled in gray with an airbrush in the inking phase, which will be immediately after this. And it will just be one frame onto itself. And then the uniform will be actually animated frame by frame and placed on top of that. So that's the process, that's the plan. We'll see if any of this actually works. Okay, let's get this going right. Yeah. No. Yes. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's huge. Okay, so we're in our right frame, animation folder 1. Sure, we'll do it. Well, yeah, we'll just do it. Doesn't have to be precise because it will be just a representation of her outline. Go. And justification. We won't actually see yeah. Okay, it'll be fine. Okay, so there we go. That's basically what we're going for. Oh, okay, so I hit that. It's kind of what we're going for right here. It's just kind of a basic outline of what she would look like here. Not to be too precise, just precise enough to kind of match her actual form as we've outlined it here. There we go. Oh, that's just going to be solidly grayish. Okay, so well, there we go. And we're done. No. Okay, so we're going to go a new animation folder. No, new animation folder. Pow. Okay, now we're going to do new animation. No. New animation cell. Okay, there we go. All right. So we're going to go down to here. Okay, we're going to say we don't need that one anymore, so we're just going to hide it right there. Okay. So we're going to go up to this one. And we're going to take this down to 50%. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do some inking, and for that I am going to adjust the area a little bit. We don't need. Okay, let's get the ink pen here. Okay. Actually, instead of doing inking, we're going to do some lasso tooling is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be basically doing this lasso tool bit here. And then we'll use the air brushes to do the fill. Flood fill and airbrush. There we go. Those knuckles of those hands. Okay, there. Okay. So it's a 3-second deflate. So we're going to be doing this on 3, so that's 8 frames a second. That's 24 frames of uniform deflation. So, that's gonna be interesting. Is what that's gonna be. That's all I can say about that. So, like I said, this is all very experimental, and I'm not sure if this is going to work. But if you don't push yourselves, you don't push yourself, you'll never get better at anything. So, and sometimes, as you may have noticed, I tend to go over my head quite a bit. So I'm making an 8-episode, 22-minute per episode animated series, and this is some sort of very, very keen short that people would love. Character flaw that I can't do short stories. Oh, my one greatest weakness. Thing ends up being War and Peace. Ugh. Anyway, enough of my quibbles. Alright, hey, that's not bad. I think this is gonna be good. Okay, things have gone dusty and kind of fluffy and no details, kind of, or the life has been drained out in a very Doctor Who sort of way, I suppose. Yes. Okay, so there we go. On our new animation folder, hide that one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a flood fill, and we're going to. She's gray already. I know, bluish gray, but we're going to go gray. Let's do a light gray is what we're going to do. And we'll get our flood fill tool and pow. Okay, bam. We're done. No. Well, let's add some texture to this. Let's add some texture. Here, let's get some. Let's see. Spray here. And go to 25. That's not bad. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, we can do it like that. No, I don't like that. Okay. This kind of gives out a little bit more texture. Here we go. There we go. I think this will work pretty good. Getting because this will give us different colored dissolve the dusty particles, whatever the effect takes on this right here. And this will be its own, be on its own layer. I did the arm separately. Yes. Okay, that's not bad. None of that detail will really be noticed, so this is kind of really pointless here. Let's go ahead and get the shadows in there. There we go. I think this is kind of getting the point across quite well. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of in here for uniform's going to be covering most of that up, so that's not a problem. Go. All right, there we go. So now we're getting a kind of a dissolvey, dusty-ish person here. Let's go darker. It's in here. Just kind of add a little bit of contrast to things. We're going to get an appropriate amount of different particles. Yeah. Too horrific, I don't think. Yeah, well, no, probably won't be. No. This is post-Halloween, though. Okay, there we go. And let's set that off, and let's take a look and see what we have got here. Let's save that. All right. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to export. Single frame. A single frame. Okay, let's try this. Okay, here we go. Ah, there we go. Oh, dang. Whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. So there's that. Before we proceed, let's see if this actually works. Shall we? Yes. Before we go on to doing the whole full animation for the full animation. Open recent. There we go. Okay. Might as well just see what this looks like. We're going to hide that folder here. Go ahead and bring that one up here, and we're going to go to this animation cell here, and we're just going to basically just delete out that information right there. Hit save. Okay, leave that exactly where it's at. Okay, minimize. Okay. Dang it. That's another one. Okay. Ooh, okay. So here we are. This is my test, okay? This is the test. Dissolve. See? Wham. Okay, both of them dissolved here. Again, this is a test to see if it actually would work. And hey, it kind of worked. So now we're trying to get it to do what I need it to do. So, let's see here. Shot 11. We don't need shot 11. We need shot 10. Do we have a shot 10? We do not have a shot 10. But we're going to right now. Okay. I'm not sure how long this is going to be. So 3 seconds to dissolve, the release seconds. Let's just put up 10. We can always shorten it later. Let's actually call this though the proper shot. IL 10. All right, let's do our standard stuff that we normally do. I'll import. Okay, let's get that in here. Let's get the background and the dissolve. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Let's get that in here so it's not just looking at. No, I don't need that just yet. Don't need that one just yet. We'll grab our EOS shader from a previous version because it's got the right settings that we'll need. This thing is overlay at 25%. It's a yellow to reddish gradient layer. Anyway, let's get our animation in here. Okay, so let's import. Okay, I think this is the the first one. Okay, so let's double click, right click on that and go to interpret footage and main, and we're going to change that from 30 frames to 24 frames because it comes in at 30 frames a second, meaning that your animation is going to be shorter than it needs to be, which is a pain, an absolute pain. Let's go to 8, and we're also going to grab the layer effects that I've already kind of set up here, which is the gradient shadow, as I always do, and then the inner shadow, which is the yellow highlight there. I'm going to apply it to them. How? That inner shadow is a little thick though, because they're further back, so we're just going to go down to the shadow, and we're going to go to size. It's 5, down to 3. Okay, 5 is right. Distance. 5, 6, 5. Bam. Okay, good. All right, so there we go. Hey, that looks. This part looks okay. It's working. Yeah, it's coming together nicely. I'm sure. I'm positive. I swear. Okay, so that gets us here. Okay. So. Also need our final frame render. Back out here, that guy right there. We're gonna take that guy to here. Okay, so because this, we're probably gonna actually start our effects a little bit before that, but they're gonna continue on. Right about here. So let's go to here. Okay, well, we're going to do some effects here. All right, I was just thinking that we'll probably need a white shape to go over all of this as well. So, blending mode is going to stay the same for right now. We're going to layer size. We're going to go to color overlay. Okay. And am I on the right one? Yeah, there we go. They're red now. Wow. All right. Which is not the color we want. No, we want white. But they just don't flash to white. Okay, so we're going to go to the opacity marker. Turn on the opacitizer. Okay, so they're going to start pulsing here. Okay, we'll go back to here. 0. In true Zandozen fashion, that's pretty good. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. Okay, so graded color there. I need those references. Good. Okay, we're also going to go right click, and I'm going to layer styles, and we're going to put that outer glow on here. All right, that outer glow is on here, but that outer glow is not glowing very much. But it will. Oh, it will. Let's do that. Hard light. Okay. Set for 0. That would be the point where I kind of need to see what I'm doing down here. Alright, well, it's not ideal. No. But, what? No. I think I'm going to do that right. I think I will. No. That'll be there. And then I'll go to here. And that's going to go to 100. And the size. There. There we go. The size is going to go back down. Back way up. It's gonna go right down, and that's gonna go to 100, and the size is gonna go down again, and then we're gonna go through the roof. Kaplow. Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. That's keen. So, new layer. Am I impressed? Am I mildly impressed? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We'll make it work. And we'll put in a white layer here. Okay, so what this is going to be a quick flash. Okay, now it's going to go T for transparency. Click that opacity, and we're going to fade out. And when we do, they're going to be gone. When we do, they will be gone, and we will have a new person standing there. give that a little bit more time. So that's, yeah, let's give it a full second. Let's give it a full second to be on. Then it'll fade out from there. Let's give it some build up time too. There's no need to go completely. Good. Now, they got to be going. You want at that mark right there. Okay, bam. There we go. Okay, they're gone. Okay, now we don't need that anymore. Let's bring the timeline back down. Let's bring the timeline back down. There we go. Okay. We did not, did we, import? There it is. He starts talking at 2, right? Yeah, you don't talk long. You don't got time to talk. Start at 1. Let me double check. Moho. Oops, wrong one. Let's see here. Moho 10. Let's see, I did start at 2. Okay, I'm second guessing myself. I had it right. Whoa, they vaporize. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's crazy. All right. Let's bring in some more assets here and see what we've got. Okay, so so now we're going to bring in you. I need to change my nub on my pin. Apparently, my Hurian tablet pin is now beginning to wear down and it's becoming less responsive. Okay, so we're going to make sure that's PNG sequence is checked. All right, and it is. We're going to have to, of course, interpret that footage a little bit more. 24. Okay, so now we'll see where we're at here. We're going to put her right here. Okay, well, it could definitely be, the scene can be longer. It can be. Yes, it can be. So let's add a couple of seconds onto that just to be certain. Here we go to 11 seconds. Oh, the background faded out, so we'll just set the go. Work area bar and move it up to there so it won't render anything past here. Right. Okay, so No. Wrong. Incorrect. I was thinking what I was going to do is I would go ahead and bring in the other one and then animate. No. I need to animate this one's effects first. So let's right click on that, go to layer styles, and we're going to go to outer glow. And we're going to take that outer glow and we're going to take that color and we're going to change that to white. That up to 100 and we'll put that on the hard light spectrum, and we're going to leave the size where it's Yeah, that's about right. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good. And now we're going to animate that. Be gone. Completely gone. And completely gone. Small. Yeah. Okay, now we need to add the timing it to that way. I don't need to see that. Oh, Windows 11. Trying to be so hard at being intuitive. And usually failing quite miserably. Color overlay is what we need. That's what this situation calls for. So color overlay. It's red right now, and we don't want that. We want it to be white. Back to here, and we're gonna go down. Opacity is 100%. And now we're gonna go to here, and we're gonna say that the opacity is now 0. Set that just a little bit from R. And we'll do the same for the glow. Oh, I didn't turn on any of the... Oh, well, this works out well. I was trusting you all. All right, there we go. Okay. There we go. We get a little bit of a latent image there. There we go. Okay, so those two effects are set. So now we bring in the arm. Okay, we rendered that arm off separately, so let's bring that bad boy in right now. Interpreting for the footage to 24 frames from 30 as normal. And, oh gosh, what would be the shader? Oh, the shader's up. Shader above everything else. Except for that white. There we go. See, it's really complicated. Maybe overly complicated. Maybe overly complicated. And maybe I'm not saying it's not. Yeah, that's that arm. All right, that's oh, sorry. Let's paste those guys on. Oh, got the wrong ones. Oops. There we go. All right. According to my previous calculations, we now this is when things get a little bit more tricky. Again with the trickiness. All right. Okay, so we have our figure that will dissolve now. Problem is that once I put the dissolve effect on there, it's going to take place on that first frame. And we don't want it to. So we're going to have to make this a composition. So let's right click. Ugh. on that and turn it into a composition. It's fine. All right, let's kind of move this down to how big is this composition? What's this composition settings? It should only be about 12 seconds. Oh, it's ginormous. That's not right. No. That's what's going on here. We're at 24 frames per second. Let's go there. Okay, there we go. That's, yeah, we can adjust it from let's go back to here and change those settings down to where they should be, because I was doing the extra bit that, there we go. Okay, now is the time to see if this test dissolve stuff works. So what we do is we go to our original. We grab this gray solid. Copy. Go to the dissolve layer. Put that above the dissolve layer. Make sure that goes out the entire length of the dissolve layer. Okay, there we go. Okay. Go back to the test dissolve. Now we're going to go back to our effects. And we're going to take our shatter. Take that and we're going to put it onto the dissolve. I don't know why that moved. Well, that took far less than I thought it would. Well, all right. Let's see. Let's get into the effects control panel and see what we can do. Render view shape. Okay. So it's just class. Direction. Origin. Oh. Oh, she shatters in like a second. This is supposed to be a little bit slower. It's probably because of the speed of it, to be honest. Because we're not doing the entirety thing. Okay. Let's go to here. Start of ramp. Go right about here. Really? End of ramp should go here. Well, this gives us a lot to work with. All right, well, that's something. All right, well. Okay, well. Wow. Where I can bring this down anymore. Where am I keyframed out here? Okay. Let's go back to the gradient layer. Start the ramp. See, this is a gradient ramp is what this is, and I just realized it. First time I actually used one, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just want to sound important. This is what they call in the business a gradient ramp. And okay, basically what it is a radial gradient, black to white, and this is the starting point. This is the end of the ramp. So this is trying to get the effect to follow down the ramp. a little bit slowly. This is really going quite quicker than I had originally hoped. Quite honestly. So, okay, so I've got to just no, this can still work. Instead of her just shattering instantly. Okay, no, it's fine. It can work with some creative layering right here. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to put the dissolve right here. Okay, so we have her in the clutches, as it were, for a bit of time. Oh, yeah, I need to probably no, the light would be coming from her now. Ooh. Yeah, so that gets us to 7. Just a bit beyond that. And pow. I'm just really start moving at that point. So, yeah, I think that could work. Oh, ooh, hang on. Nope. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to put some more effects onto this. Of course. And I make sure that we sell it properly. Oh. Like I said, this is not complicated at all. This is the easiest thing I have ever attempted on a live stream. Hey, okay, so. Yeah, it's not so bad. Okay, and let's make sure the dissolve is like that too. Oh, okay. How? Okay, no, hang on. Take the dissolve, and we're going to take this dissolve down. Right above that. Wow. That's not going to cause any problems at all, is it? Is it? What did it cause problems? I have no idea. Okay, there we go. Actually, hey, that worked out fine. All right, hey, let's take a look and see what we've got here so far in this incredibly long and laborious live stream. Wow. Okay.
Nothing is impossible for the Moraz.
Oh, there's that voice. Good. I think I can still make the even the slow withdrawal of our arms work as well. All right, hey, so the only thing left is the uniform, but it is getting awfully late. That is for an hour and 19 minutes. But let's go ahead and get that process started at the very least. Whew. Yeah, not too bad. We didn't want to be too up close with that. It's not a horror. A horror show, you know. There we go. Okay, so we have this. No, basically what we're doing right now is we're worried about this uniform. So it's a second, isn't it? Hang on, let me double. Oh yeah, she's gone. Well, it would be some Okay, so it's a 1 second. It's a 1 second to total limpness, I'd say. Deflation as everything pours out of there. Poosh. All right. Well, someone should make a red dwarf joke here. I mean, we're talking about utter desiccation of the body. Malarian bodies are probably human bodies, mostly water, and well, anyway, there wouldn't be much dust anyway. So we only need 1 second of animation. Okay, we're going to do this one too. So there'll be 12 frames instead of 24 frames. It will. Would it really? Ask myself. Man, I tell you what. Okay, so let's figure this out. Okay. All right. No problem. It's okay. Okay, so pencil in hand. I'm gonna get in close because we've got a largely no, I'm not going to I was going to ink it right here, but it's like no. Let's make sure that we're getting roughly the right. Let's see here. No. Yeah. Okay. Make 2 was completely. Ow. Okay, well, 2s it is for the inking. But we're not going to worry about that right now. All right, so let's get this penciling done here. So this first frame, we'll go ahead and pencil it, even though I probably will ink directly over the animation that I have set up here. There we go. That to there. There. There was a episode of JoJo season 1 or 3, depending on if you count the miniseries as seasons. The first full season, they had simulants, which looked like humans, but then would dissolve into purple goo. Eyeballs would drop out and everything. It was very much, Toei, maybe cutting on the frame rates a little bit then, but they tried their best. First few episodes of the season are very well animated, and then the frame rate drops because Toei's really overwhelmed. I think that's why ACOM got the run at Transformers season 3. ACOM may have been overtaxed a bit by the demands of the Marvel animated productions. Still, what they did was light years beyond anything that ACOM came up with, so there's that. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, so that's where we are. Let's decide where we're going. Okay, so we're going to do a new animation cell. And this is going to be the clothes. The uniform is now going to be completely length, where you will have guessed that the arms now will be somewhere around here, so it will be kind of hanging off this way. It's empty. It's kind of deflated. I've never tried anything like this before. Let's do it on a live stream. Why not? Failure for all the world to see. Oh gosh. Is it made of polyurethane? All right. So that's going to be the uniform. That's there. There. That's going to be the collar. There. There. We'll say that that's well, you know what? I can drop it down as much as it gets to drop down. Yes, I suppose I can. Yeah, that actually does not need to be there like that. Okay, so I'm guesstimating where the hands will be. I will move this to match where the hands are. Once we get that far in the compositing process, I'm going to cheat like a mother. Okay. So we're going to say those gloves have dropped to the other there, and we're going to say that out to there. Boots will stay where they're at. She dissolved with her boots on. Quinn Martin production. Okay, so there we've got this. All right, let's take off this layer. Okay, things I'm seeing. Onion skin, if you can see. Okay, oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, by frame floor, those things were probably almost to the ground. Those gloves, what you're wondering. I'm talking about, so, yeah, okay. Said I was mad at animation school. Mad! Actually, I never went to animation school, but they probably would have said that I was mad. Alright, well, anyway, this is, we're just gonna kind of try to make the best we can out of this. Maybe I'll do one of those things right there. It'll look a little bit more baggy-ish. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so the hands are roughly going to be there no matter what. Ooh, those boots are going to... Oh, it's going to be hard to keep those... So what we should not do... What I should not do is I should not do that. So we're going to have to just no gaps where the hands would be, and we're going to have to maybe reanimate those hands to make that work. But there we go. Okay. So before we get ready to fully wrap this bad boy up, we're going to make another keyframe. Wondering why that didn't look right. I was on the wrong animation folder. Okay, so now we have our onion skin on, and we know where we were at and where we're going. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty at all. Nope, say that. Okay, so now we're going to try and go kind of halfway. Not quite halfway. I mean, you know. I think the important thing here is to show that those gloves are those gloves are empty. Those gloves are empty and descending. Sure. Whatever makes you feel better. Alright. Okay, so story in 3 frames. Alright, that's probably going to be another there. Add. Wow. Right. That's gonna be it. Boom. Okay, so now we just add in. If we have five more frames to go, and this is done, huh? As they say. But this is already an hour and a half. So I think it's starting to get to be about that time. I mean, this is where the frame is going. You can kind of see how this is going to jive up with the animation that we have currently. So tell you what, we'll just go about another 10 minutes and see what we can accomplish in that time, because I think we're pretty close to having this wrapped up, as it were. There are 3 pips. I know. Okay. Talk to myself. Okay, so anyone else, I guess. Okay, well, this is going in there. Those gloves are now, I'm going to say, unfurled. There we go. Okay. And another new cell. Okay. Now our gloves are going to be falling. At a pretty good rate. There we go. Okay, so now that there, and that there. Empty. Goes just a little bit lower. There we go. Ooh, there we go. Too low. Don't want to hit those. Okay. So now that's ending right about there, there, and that's going to be coming right about there, probably hidden by that. Alrighty, well, that's not looking too bad. Yeah, we might just go ahead and finish up the pencil animation on this one. New cell. Alright, let's get these gloves out of frame. Alright, they go. All right. So, keeping in mind, I don't want to get too far out of myself here. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's the whiny voice of Kodiak. He is telling me that I have spent too long on this live stream. And he's a cat, by the way. and that I should probably get back to petting him. And I will here shortly. I will. Yeah, that's why you can see he does not believe me. Or you can hear that he does not believe me. Maybe you can't. I don't know. I'm guessing you can. He's pretty dang vocal. But that's fine. Okay, so there we go. Put that right there. Here we're going to go ahead. And we're going to start. That's. Okay. Okay, those gloves are gone now. So now we're going to be working on getting everything up to this. So. Alrighty, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay. Bad at all. Okay. Looks like we have one more frame. Okay, there we go. There we go. Looks like we're doing, I'd say pretty good right there. Oh, that's frame 7. Haha! Huzzah. Oops. Oops. Turn off the onion skin and let's see what we got. I'm going to say that's pretty good. Bam. All right. Inking coloring will happen at a later time and a later place. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just feel free to let me know. And good night.